Good morning, lovelies. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I say this in every video. I am not here to teach you anything. I don't have answers. I only know what has worked for me to shift my life from hell to heaven. And I feel amazing and wonderful, and my life has improved, my reality, my outer reality has improved, but much more importantly, the way that I feel inside has improved immensely. I'm not even the same person. And these are the things that I've done to get from a 1, if a 1 is like shit life, feeling like shit, to a 10. I was probably before, a few years ago, I was at like a 3. My life was just not great. 10 being the best life ever. I'm now at like a 9.4, I'd say. And there's always room for improvement, but that's a pretty big leap. Anyway, so on this channel, on my vlog, on my blog, on my website, and my courses, I am all about sharing what is working for me. I'm not interested in giving advice to anybody who doesn't want it. If you found me, it's because you found me. And I also am not interested in telling people what to do. Try this if you want to. Don't if you don't. It's all cool. But today I'd like to talk about how energy works in the body, and particularly emotional energy. So if we're getting really scientific, what happens when you feel something, anything? You produce a chemical in your body, and every time that you feel that feeling, you produce the combination of chemicals that create that cocktail. And you feel hatred and you produce that cocktail. You feel love and you produce a different cocktail. So it's like a medicine in your body, I guess, different drug. It's a drug. Let's call it a drug. That's actually pertinent to what we're going to talk about. So if I'm producing the drug of hatred every day, and I am in my car, and every day I produce the drug of hatred because I hate the people who are driving all around me. I just wish they would go away. Every time I get in the car, that car acts as a trigger for me to produce the drug of hatred. If I am feeling love every time I pull the covers up over my lover and we get in bed, every single time that I get in bed and pull the covers up and get next to my lover, my body's going to want to produce that love because that's what it triggers me to do. And your brain does this because your brain doesn't like to work. Your brain takes up so much energy in the body. And if you had to always think about everything you had to do and everything you had to feel, then you wouldn't really be able to have much energy for anything else. You'd literally eat, sleep, poop, and think, and that'd be about it. So your subconscious mind takes over because it has to, really, in order for us to survive. It wants to save that energy. So the chemical cocktail of hatred that you produce every time you get in the car becomes addicting because the subconscious mind wants to simplify and save energy, and it thinks that hatred is serving you in your environment, and it knows you've survived for this long, so it makes that hatred an addiction. So you have to feel it. You have to feel that hatred, and if you don't, you feel like something's off. It doesn't matter what the emotion is, negative or positive. You can become addicted to either one. And if you're addicted to the hatred, then just like any other addiction, you need more and more of that chemical in order to get your fix, in order to feel satisfied. So your body will actually produce more of the feeling of hatred. It will intensify it, and you'll feel it more often. And that will satisfy the addiction for time, and then it needs to get more intense. It needs to happen more often until your entire life is hatred. And you will set it up that way subconsciously. Your subconscious mind is unbelievably powerful, millions and millions of times more powerful than your conscious mind. So it will set up your life to be filled with situations that ignite the feeling of hatred within you. And this will be the cycle until you break it. So that's what emotional addiction is, and it is very real. It's a chemical process in your body, and I feel like it's a lot to do with the law of attraction. Actually, it has a lot to do with that. I mean, there are other components like the reticular activating system, which I would love to talk about, and I think I actually already have, but the chemical addiction of emotion causes us to subconsciously set up these situations to help us to feel more of those emotions. So if you can break that cycle, if you can get in there into the hatred cycle and instead make your driving time prayerful or peaceful, or you can listen to audio books or something that will break that cycle. At first it will be difficult because you're in the habit, you're addicted, and your body wants to go back there, so you'll have to put in effort at first. But then if you keep doing it and you keep kind of forcing your way into breaking up that negative emotion and replace it with something positive, then that will become the new habit after time. They say 21 days, that's actually been discovered not to be true. It's been discovered that it's more like 33 days, and 33 days sounds like a long time. But what I've noticed is that after about a week of feeling the new feeling, I'm like building a lot of momentum, and it's already starting to be, the old emotion is already starting to crumble, and it's getting easier and easier and easier, but you have to be diligent every day. And I set reminders, like for me, I did tend to get moody at night. Like there are some people who are night people and people who are morning people. I am chipper and ready to go in the morning. Like I am jumping out of bed. But at night I start to get a little bitchy, or I did in the past, not anymore, because I've set it up that way. But I would have like an index card on my pillow, because that would be the time when I'm laying in bed with my fiance, where I would start to get a little ornery. I don't know how to say that anyway. So I would, I'd just want to go to sleep, and he'd want to, not sleep. So I'd look at that index card, and it would just say something like love. And actually that is what it says in big, bold, Sharpie letters, love. And that would just be a reminder to me, oh yeah, okay, so getting in bed now, it's time for love. It's time for love. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And I would do that every night. And now I get into bed and I feel love. And the great thing about that is I bring that to my fiance. So I've changed his life because I've changed my life and my emotions. Now I'm automatically triggered as soon as we get in bed together to feel love. And it's perfect. It works. It really, really, really works. So create new emotional addictions, and that is shifting energy in your body. And it is amazing, I promise you. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day, wonderful life.